Hey guys, it's Melissa here. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about not seeking approval from others. You are the only person who needs to approve of yourself. But oftentimes we get so caught up in when others don't like us. I just put a post on Facebook the other day and it said something about some people will love you and some people will hate you. It's not about you. And that was a saying that came from Abraham. And I just think it's so wise. But most of us fall into that trap. It's just a natural thing where we have to have others' approval. And it happens in relationships, whether they're romantic relationships or work relationships. And I was listening to another interesting episode today on YouTube where they were talking about needing someone's approval and how when that happens, it kind of becomes a vicious cycle. So what happens is, let's say that someone expresses their disapproval of you. So it's like a grid. That person expresses their disapproval of you, and so what do? You start taking down in that grid all of their reactions. And so you start having reactions to their reactions. And so you start making this even more of a big deal than it is. And the thing is that when you have an emotional reaction to someone not liking you, or you think they don't like you, or they've disapproved of something you said or did, you're feeling an emotion that is not a good feeling. It's uncomfortable. And we talked about yesterday why you should not be in that state of discomfort or feeling bad, because that's not a place where you're able to manifest things and live your best life. You want to feel good as much of the time as possible. We know that you are not always going to feel good because things are going to come up and things are going to happen, but it's trying to, as soon as something, let's call it conflict, as soon as conflict comes into your existence, it's in your space, it's that not trying to react emotionally. It's pulling yourself back and thinking to yourself, okay, so this happened and I didn't like it, but I have a choice. I can either react and get upset and get mad, and that's not going to feel good. It's probably not going to solve any problems. It's just going to make it worse. Or I can choose to not have an emotional reaction, and I can save the energy that I have right now instead of expending all of my energy, lowering my vibration, getting upset. Like, that's not going to do anything. It's not going to help me. But if I choose to not have an emotional reaction, and I know this is hard, I'm saying this to you, and I realize how deeply difficult it can be, trust me. But I will give you an example in a moment of what I'm talking about. You have to get into the practice of doing this, okay? Of not having an emotional reaction, because then you're not going to go into this downward spiral of feeling bad and then making others feel bad and then your energy dropping. Like, you're not going to go down that rabbit hole. And when you are seeking the approval of others, you're allowing how they feel about you to cause a reaction in you, which then also they disapprove of, so it's like a vicious cycle back and forth. It's like you're filling up your grid with things now that you don't like about them, or you don't like the way they reacted. It's like a defensive thing, right? It's like, I don't like you. And then it's going back and forth. Now they don't like your reaction and they're filling all of that up. Where if they disapproved of you and you just decided to say to yourself that I am so strong in myself and how I feel about myself that I'm not going to let that shake me or shake my foundation, it stops right there. There is no interaction back and forth in this energy exchange back and forth because you didn't feed into it. People don't have to agree with us. And this used to be really, really hard for me because I was a people pleaser and everybody had to like me. And that was my thing. Like, I wanted everyone to like me. And in the past few months, I've gotten to the point where I'm working on, it's okay if people don't like me. Like, it's okay. People don't have to agree with me, and people don't have to like me. And it's not like I used to think that everyone had to agree with everything I said. But sometimes I would take someone disagreeing with what I said as a personal attack. If it was in a specific setting, I might take it that way, even though it wasn't meant that way. And I was giving into this huge emotional exchange and depleting more and more of my energy. And again, going down this spiral of, well, why did they say that? It's classic overthinking. When, at least it was for me, when I would have an encounter with someone and I felt like they didn't approve of me, because I was always seeking approval, when I felt that they didn't approve of me, then I would become upset and then start judging everything they did. Like, well, who are you to not approve of me? Look what you do, and then you can see how that could quickly get out of hand, and it's not good for the relationship, because really it's all about unconditional love. We don't have to agree with people, and we can usually come to a compromise, but if you're taking something personally and allowing someone, like whatever they think about you, to affect you, then you've lost the battle already. You've already lost, because you're going to go spiraling down that rabbit hole. That's just how it works. But if you're able to take someone's criticism, or you're sensing that they disapprove of you, and saying to yourself, well, I approve of me, and I know that I'm intelligent, I'm capable, I'm talented. We don't agree on this issue, and that's okay. When you can look at it like that, it stops that whole spiraling down, because what you end up doing is feeling crappy about yourself and basing all of your value on someone else's opinion. And that's not what you want. You don't want someone else's opinion to shake you. There will be people who hate you for no reason other than they don't like themselves. And so they go around looking for the negative in people. And if you're a positive person, you're going to make them mad just by being yourself. Just being positive is going to irritate them, and they're going to hate you even more. And you cannot let that shake you. You cannot let that dim your light. We were sent adversaries here. There are people who sign up to come here and do these things for us because it tests us. It tests how much we've learned. How strong are we in our opinions of ourselves? How much do we love ourselves? And if you are confident in yourself and you love yourself to the core, nothing can shake you. Nothing. It might rattle you for a moment, but you immediately come back to your senses once you stop having an emotional reaction. You realize what it's really about, and that it's not about you. Most of the time, it's not about you. I have come to find that people who are mean and who bully, it's not about you. It's about that person. If they have that much hate within them to hurt other people on purpose, they're hurting inside too. And I talked about this exercise that you can do to take back the power that you've given away. Because when you base your value on someone else's opinion of you, you're giving away your personal power. Did you hear me? When you base your own value by how others see you and the value of other people that they place on you, you've given away your personal power. Because it doesn't matter what others think of you. It only matters what you think of you. You are the only person who has to approve of you. So you have to get to the point that you are so confident and so strong. It doesn't matter what others say, because it's not going to rock you off your foundation. It's just not. That is where your true power lies. And that is not an easy place to be, but you can get there. It just takes practice. And as I was sitting and listening to this video chat today, I was thinking how profound it was and how true it was. But then I thought to myself, Yeah, it sounds awesome, but it's in putting in the practice. It's in implementing, as we would say in teaching, it is actually putting the strategy in place. It is actually utilizing this. It is making this real. That is when you have the true test, because that is the hard part. It's easy for you to say, oh yeah, if I just don't engage, then it'll be fine. The hard part is actually not engaging in that or not having an emotional reaction. That's the hard part. It's easy to say, I'm not going to engage. It's much harder to actually do it, but it can be done. And it really is all about mindfulness and living in the moment, because when you're in the present moment, it becomes easier to pay attention to your thoughts, to your words, to your deed. It's when we're not paying attention that those things happen. We have reactions. Things fly out of our mouths that we don't mean. We start feeling bad about ourselves because we've allowed someone else's opinion of us to dictate our opinion of us and to have an effect on our self-worth. And that is giving someone else our personal power. And this is a mistake that I have made time and again in relationships. A partner would say something to me about something that they didn't like that I did, and I took it as a personal attack, and I would let it diminish what I thought about myself, and then I would overthink it and say, well, if they don't like this thing, they probably don't like 50 other things too, and they probably don't like me. And it would spiral down this rabbit hole until I was convinced that this person really did not care about me. That was not the case at all. And I see that now. I see what I was doing. And I see that when someone said, I don't like that you do this, that I could say, okay, yeah, I could understand that, and then not let it affect me and say, okay, well, yeah. It's something I can try not to do, but I'm me. I like who I am, whatever. Because if someone truly loves you, and most people honestly do, it's about unconditional love. They'll love you no matter what. Even when you do things that irritate them, because heaven knows, we all irritate each other. It's going to happen. That love will still be available, even if that person disapproved of one thing you did. It's in the interactions we have afterwards that cause the trouble. Because I have a reaction, then you have a reaction, then I have a reaction to your reaction, then you have a reaction to my reaction. And it might not even be things we verbalize, but you're doing it because when they say something about you, you think 5 bad things about them because you can't even understand why this person wouldn't think you were just the most awesome thing that ever lived on the planet, right? We have egos. Our egos get battered, and that is what we allow to take over. It's ego. People should be allowed to say what they don't necessarily like without us taking it to the next level. It may mean we have to compromise with people. That's no big deal, and it's something that we're all used to doing anyway. And I'll give you my own personal take on this. My son and I had a pretty volatile relationship for about a year there. It was like everything I said rubbed him the wrong way, and everything he said rubbed me the wrong way. That typical teenage parent years, right? I grew up with the parenting style of, you will do it because I said so. There was no explanation of why. The rules were kind of haphazard, right? We didn't have set rules. It was, if you crossed a boundary, you knew it because you would get yelled at or you might get smacked or something, right? It was old school parenting. There was no, if you do this, this is the consequence. There was none of that. So it was a completely confusing thing, which explains a lot about some of the relationships in my life, because I didn't know how to set healthy boundaries. I never knew how to do that. And I'm sure my parents didn't know how to do that either. It's just a cycle. So I didn't know how to set clear and healthy boundaries for him, because that wasn't done for me. I didn't know to sit down and set rules with him. Now, I could tell you as a teacher, you have to do that in the classroom, but why wouldn't it make sense you had to do that at home, right? But here I was, not knowing that. So our interaction was, he would cross a boundary and I would yell at him. And he's so intelligent that he did not accept that, right? It was like, wait a minute. No. Like, I didn't know there was this boundary. You didn't tell me, so there was never a, you have to do this because I said so kind of moment with him. He was too smart for that. He knew there had to be an explanation, and there needed to be a rule, and there needed to be a consequence. Like, he was the one figuring this out and turning the tables on me. Like, no, you can't do this. You can't parent like this. This is not going to work. And it took about a year of like me trying, anytime something would happen that I didn't like, blowing up and yelling, right? Because that's what happened in my household. And I was giving away my personal power, and he was taking it every time. We were doing that whole thing with the grid where I disapproved of something he did, and then he disapproved of my disapproval, and then we were going back and forth, and it was not working at all. And it wasn't until I sat down with him and said, okay, this isn't working. And honestly, he's really the one who brought it up. He is wise beyond his years and said, I don't like when you do this, and this. And I had to take my ego out of that, because ego would have said, well, I'm the parent. You do what I say. That doesn't work. And I'm automatically losing that battle. And I automatically lost every battle without knowing it, because you're never going to win a power struggle. No one wins. So I had to step back and sit down with him and have an actual conversation with him and set those boundaries. Look, these are the things that I don't like when you have bad grades. Which he didn't do that at the time. He was a straight A student, but these are the things that will be a boundary. Bad grades. Talking disrespectfully. Not cleaning your room. We're just going through the list of things. Okay, so the consequence for this is what I think it should be. What do you think? Yeah, that sounds fair. Okay, so it was a conversation. It was not me yelling at him, telling him what to do. It wasn't him yelling at me. Do you know how much better that worked? And then when a consequence was broken, he could get mad all he wanted. He knew he agreed to it. It was a contract that he broke, and the punishment was laid out. There was no more, I'm going to make you feel bad, you're going to make me feel bad. There was no need for that. The grid is gone because we don't need it. We're now able to have a conversation normally, without emotion, saying, look, you messed up. And saying, I know, how are you going to fix it? And that's what we should be doing in all of our relationships. Instead of reacting emotionally, it should be, okay, we're at an impasse, we don't agree. What should we do? How can we fix it? And sometimes things can't be fixed in that way. You're never going to always come to an agreement where both parties feel like they got everything that they wanted. But sometimes you have to know when to pick your battles too, don't you? Sometimes it's not important if you win. Sometimes you can give up that little win just to come to an agreement. So I guess my purpose today in talking to you is to help you see that it does not matter whether anyone else approves of you. Don't give up your power to people. Don't base how you feel about yourself on what other people say or think about you. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. What matters is how you feel about yourself. And we've been talking about trying to stay in that high vibration, trying to keep your energy levels up. Because I tell you what, when you're not in that flow, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Make your life easier for yourself, because that's what you're doing. When you decide that you're going to feel the way you want to feel all the time. When you decide that you're going to feel the way you want to feel all of the time, you're going to be in peace. You're taking back your power. And you're going to start seeing the blessings show up because you're not worried or anxious or fearful anymore. So I ask you today, start taking back your power. How are you going to start taking back your power? Because you absolutely have to do that. Remember, you can imagine that there's a golden light above your head, and you're taking back all of the energy that you have ever put out into the universe, that people have to like me. People have to approve of me. I want you to take all of that energy back and bring it back down into the crown of your head and down through your body, because we're taking our power back. We're taking it back. Believe me, I have to do that myself. I have sent that out myself, that people have to like me. And I have come to a place where I know that they don't. I know that there will be people who hate me, and that's okay. I'm okay with that, because those are not my people, and they're not my concern. All right, guys, I wanted to pull a card for you before I left. And the card that I pulled is from the Crazy Sexy Love Notes deck by Chris Carr. It is a new day. Let go of what was in order to make room for what's to come. It may be time to release a relationship that has run its course, a job that lost its luster, or a depleting commitment. The past is over. What's done is done. Acknowledge the feelings, learn from the experience, and give yourself permission to release any negative emotions or guilt. When one area of our life falls apart, new opportunities fall into place. Let go of that need to be accepted by everyone. That's just your ego. When you accept yourself and love yourself deeply and completely, you will not care what others think. All right, guys, I want to thank you for listening as always. If you liked this podcast, please share it with others so that we can help spread the light, to raise the light, raise the level of raise our vibration. Sorry, I was having a moment trying to figure out what I was trying to say there. Mercury in retrograde strikes again. Sometimes I have trouble finding my words lately. We want to raise the energy of the collective and shine our light for the collective. And so in helping others to find the tools that they need to do that, you are helping the collective. Please leave stars and reviews. That helps others to find me as well. I want to thank you for always listening and supporting me. I truly, truly appreciate you, and I love connecting with all of you. The Facebook Live we had this week was so much fun and amazing. I hope you guys will all join me on Tuesday for the next one. I go live at 7 Central. If you'd like a Reiki session or one-on-one coaching or a reading, if you want to work with me, check out my website. You can book a session there, or you can just contact me through Facebook or email me or even text me. All my information is on my website. I also have meditations there that you can now purchase. Healing meditation, a chakra meditation, and also a tranquility meditation just to relieve stress. So go check all of that out. And I hope you have a fabulous day. I am sending you massive love and light, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.